Alright, so this video will be about like the pros and cons of living in a vehicle. You know, like what's good about it, what's bad about it. Because sometimes I get comments of people saying they're about to sell everything and move into a car, and you know, that's great, but you should know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? You gotta first off, thanks for the subs, thanks for the likes, thanks for the comments. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for the tips, links in the description. I appreciate every single one of you. I just realized the other day I can actually talk to people on Venmo. So yeah, somebody was talking. Anyways, so oh, and thanks for the Patreon support. Appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, so you got to realize also that I was living on the street before I lived in a car, so of course I like it. You know what I mean? Of course it's easier for me, but I'll tell you this much, it would not have been anywhere near as easy for me if I was coming from an apartment. You know, I went from an apartment straight onto the street. But I gotta say, my apartment was such a dump that, you know, it's not like the whole time I was living in that apartment, I was like, I gotta get out of here, you know? But yeah, you gotta realize that for me, living in a car is pretty easy considering what I was doing before this. This is luxury to me. This is simple. But the other thing is, you know, you gotta know yourself too, because if you're really like, if you don't like camping and you don't like roughing it and stuff, living in a car is not going to be for you. You know what I mean? So I guess I'll just get down to the biggest issues for me personally is not having a bathroom. Now, for a girl, that's got to be real hard living in a car, because at least I can piss in a bottle. You know what I mean? But if I've got to take a shit, which, you know, you got to do it every day, that's my biggest issue. I wish I had a bathroom in here where I could just do that in here, but I can't. You know, some people, and a lot of people don't talk about this because they don't want you to know about it, but a lot of people who live in their car will just like kind of shit in a bag. I just can't. I hate doing that type of shit. I feel it's like, I just hate it, bro. You know, like it makes me feel like, I don't know. I don't like doing it. So that's my biggest issue, is every morning I've got to find somewhere to use the bathroom. Which really annoys me, because I don't want to, you know, I hate to spend $3 on a cup of coffee when I could just make it myself. But if I'm gonna go use the bathroom somewhere, I feel like I should buy something. Now that's up to you. You know, you decide for yourself if you want to just go use the bathroom and not pay and not buy anything. Or there's gas stations that don't care. But here's the thing: in the morning, I want my coffee anyway. But so my system as of right now, you know, I've got a video where I show where I made this portable toilet. I actually just threw that out because I never used it. I just use public bathrooms. You know what I mean? That's what I do. So my system right now is, it depends on where I'm sleeping. It depends on where I'm at. If I'm near a county park, my preference is to go to the county park in the morning, make my own coffee, and use the bathroom there. If I'm not near a county park, then I will go to Starbucks, get a cup of coffee, and use the bathroom there. And I've seen people in the comments like, oh, you drink Starbucks, you got a lot of money. I'm like, I mean, dude, you really, like, let me tell you something. Even at my most homeless, I was drinking Starbucks. If I couldn't make, you know, I ain't gonna let that, like, I'm making money, bro. I don't care what's going on. I'm gonna find a way to make money. I'm gonna find a way to afford to buy my coffee. I'm not the type where I'm like, oh, I don't have money, I'm not gonna drink coffee today. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go make money and then get my coffee. I'm gonna make my money, bro. You know what I mean? So if a cup of coffee is like a cup of Starbucks coffee, which is not even that good. The only reason I go to Starbucks is because it was what I used in New York, because I could always get an outlet there to charge my phone. And at this point, even though I'm not the hugest fan of their coffee, it's way better than McDonald's. It's 10 times better than any of the sewage you're going to get at the gas station. I mean, I don't like shitty coffee. I like good coffee. And Starbucks is average. It's not bad, but it ain't good. Although I got to say their blonde coffee is pretty good. But you know, if $3 for a cup of decent coffee, I'm okay with that. I'd rather make my own good coffee for free. Not free, but you know, it costs me pennies to make my own coffee, and I'm drinking the coffee I like. I get the Bustelo Supreme shit. Like that's my favorite. Although I gotta say, there's this Italian butcher in Clearwater. They got some really good Italian coffee I want to try, which is really expensive. But I want to try it. I'm curious. I probably shouldn't, because once I do, that's gonna be what I want. But anyway, so you know, if you think a cup of coffee for $3 is a lot of money, my suggestion is start making more money. You know, there's a million ways to make money in this day and age. You know, we are getting ripped off. We're getting screwed left and right, but there is a million ways to make money. I'm going to make a video about Uber to tell y'all. I did Uber for a year straight, and I learned a lot. And I tell you what, had I known what I was doing in the beginning, I would have made a lot more money. I was doing it very inefficiently at first, but I learned a few things. So maybe I'll do one last Uber trip and film it so y'all can watch me road rage all over Florida on a delivery. And then I'll explain to y'all what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But so the first negative thing about living in a car is the bathroom situation. You know, if you're a dude, at least you can piss in a bottle. That's you know, that's the main thing. So, but you are gonna have to find somewhere to take a shit every day. You know, unless you don't shit every day, which you need to change your diet if that's the case. But then obviously the other issue is not being able to shower. So you're gonna have to get used to going a couple of days without a shower, because there's not always a gym around. You know, I pay $30 a month to Planet Fitness, which I gotta say their gym is pretty lame. I mean, all I do is go in there and take a shower. I don't use anything in there. I wish they had a pool and a basketball court, though. Does anyone know of a good nationwide gym with a basketball court and a pool that I could... Because I do love to play basketball, even to this day. For whatever reason, that's just the sport that I enjoy playing the most. And I'm actually, you know, I'm pretty good at basketball, believe it or not. But I do miss playing it. And I want to play some basketball again. But anyway, so... yeah, the shower's the other situation. So if you're not comfortable going a couple of days between showers, then you're probably not going to want to live in your car, you know? Me personally, I take a shower every couple of days. I don't wash my hair every time I take a shower. If I did, my hair would just be fried. Like, I mean, I don't know. Does anyone wash their hair every day? I don't think... I feel like I'm destroying my hair when I wash it every day. But so, yeah, the shower and the bathroom is the main issues. Now the other main issue that can drive you nuts is the climate. Now, in the summer in Florida, I don't think many people could sleep in their car. I do it because I'm half friggin' wolf, and I lived outside for a decade straight, and I'll lay there and just wake up in a puddle of sweat, and I'm like that, bro. You know what I mean? It really don't bug me too much, but I'm also the type where, you know, I laid sod for years in the Florida sun, and I enjoyed that. Like, you know what I mean? I've seen people saying, like, how can you work outside in this Florida heat? I'm like, it don't even bother me, bro. I get a tan. I feel like I'm at the beach or something. It don't bug me. Hard physical labor in the heat, my body sweats. My body keeps itself cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm have some sort of magical power to not be bothered by the heat. I don't know what it is, but I tell you what, even though I've got a high tolerance for the heat, sometimes in the summer in Florida when I'm laying back there and I'm sweating bullets, I get a little frustrated and I get a little annoyed. One of my main issues right now is three of my windows stopped working. I need to get that straightened out before before the summer gets here, because I can't be back there with all the windows up. I will cook like a piece of chicken, bro. So that's the other thing. The climate is an issue. So, you know, depending on what state you're in, what climate you're in, the heat is going to be hard in the summer, and the cold is going to be hard in the winter, and that's how it's going to be. The winters in Florida are a pleasure. Sleeping outside down here in the winter, it's, you know, I sleep like a baby every night. It's the weather's like perfect down here in the winter. It's like, it'll get down to the upper 30s maybe once a winter, but you know, it don't bother me none. It's only for a couple of nights throughout the whole thing, and I got some hand warmers and I got a good sleeping setup. So you know, you got to have the proper equipment too. You got to have the right stuff. Like, I guess at some point I need to do a video and just explain my sleep system, because it's all weather basically. I mean, in a car, like if I was just out trekking in the woods like the Revenant, I would probably need a better, like, 0-degree sleeping bag. My cold sleeping bag is rated for 30, but in the climates I'm in, I don't need nothing colder than that. But then on top of that, I've got my Poncho Liner and my Swagman Roll, which is basically, they're both basically poncho liners, which the Swagman Roll is like it's a sleeping bag rated for 50. It's a thin, lightweight, awesome thing. I'll link it in the description. I'll also link the Poncho Liner. Those are two things that I don't care what climate you're in, they're worth having. The Swagman Roll is waterproof, so you can lay right in the rain in that thing and you ain't gonna get wet. So yeah, you got to have the right stuff, you know what I mean? And then to battle with the heat, what you need to do is you got to create some sort of cross ventilation. So it helps to have a sunroof. It helps to have windows that work. If you can get air circulating in any direction, get a couple of fans. I've got one fan. I'm going to get another one before the summer. And, you know, I'm thinking maybe I'll set my fans up. I'll leave the sunroof open. I'll set one up here pushing in and one over there pushing out, so the air will just be circulating through the whole thing. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't tried it yet. But what I usually do is, with my one fan, is I'll leave the windows down a little bit and I'll have the fan pointing out one of the windows. This way the air will come in one of the other windows, you know what I mean? So I just try to create cross ventilation so there's a slight breeze coming through there. If it's hot, I'll just have the fan blasting straight on my face, you know what I mean? But so yeah, the climate is a major issue when you're sleeping in your car. And another thing that gets annoying is the rain in Florida, because in the summer in Florida, it pretty much rains every day. It doesn't rain all day, but it rains pretty much every day for at least a couple of minutes, you know what I mean? Which is actually kind of a blessing in the summer, because if it didn't rain a little bit every day, the heat would just be more intense, you know, because it usually cools off a little after the rain. So in a climate like Florida, this is the jungle down here, straight up. It's like a, you know, the wet season. It's got a wet season and a dry season. It's not even like winter, spring, summer, and fall. I mean, we call it that, but realistically in Florida, you got a wet season and a dry season. The summer is the wet season, the winter is the dry season, you know? But all in all, I like the Florida climate, you know what I mean? But I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be down here. So, trying to think of what are some other major issues that I face with this. And it also depends on what you like to do with your time. So if you're the type who likes to kind of sit in the house and chill, living in the car might not be for you. But see, I built this thing into basically a little apartment. I can go back there and get on my computer and get shit done. Or you can go into a coffee shop or a Starbucks or a Dunkin', anywhere. Libraries. You don't have to just sit in your car all day. You know what I mean? Um, but that's the thing. It's like, what's more important to you, freedom or security? You know what I mean? So I've tried to, one of the reasons I live the way I live is because I wanted to try to conquer my own need for safety and security. I have this instinct in me where I just feel like I need to have, like, I need to be ahead on everything. I need to have, like, food stockpiled. I need to have weapons and ammo stockpiled. I've always been that way. I don't know if in a past life I was under siege in a fort somewhere or something. I don't know. But my whole life I've always felt that I need a bunch of supplies and I need a safe place to hold them. I don't know what it is, but even to this day I have it. I've got a stockpile of canned and dry food in my truck, and I stay ready, bro. But that need for that security also is like an anchor. It was holding me down in life. It was forcing me to cling to these jobs that I couldn't stand, you know what I mean? Where I just, deep down, I felt like I was wasting my life. So that's one of the reasons I do what I do. I've always wanted to have a vehicle filled with everything I need to where I can just travel around the country and explore and enjoy myself. So I'm in a way, I'm trying to have the best of both worlds. I want the freedom and I want the security. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think. There's got to be other things that really drive me nuts about living in a car, because I don't want to paint this picture to where it's like this, everything's great, it's just van life and we're chilling at the beach every morning, and it ain't like that, bro. It's more like, it ain't like that, bro. It ain't what they show you on YouTube. If they showed you what it was really like, for most of them, I have a feeling you'd be like, fuck that shit, because, there's, like I said, the climate is an issue, the bathroom is an issue, there's, there's some issues, you know what I mean? And I do miss having a house sometimes, but I also don't want to be, I don't want to be clinging to a job and hiding in an apartment all day, you know what I mean? I don't want to live that way. But some people are so used to that it would be very, very difficult for them to transition into this, because you're roughing it. A lot of the time you're roughing it. The next truck I buy and build, I'm gonna bring y'all through every step of the way. So, because I believe I've got about the best setup for living in a car. I mean, my shit is an apartment basically. I'm so comfortable back there at night. If I ain't got nothing else going on, I'm totally stealth too, so I can sleep in any parking lot anywhere. I can do residential too, but I don't want to, because I have a look about me where a lot of times people, I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of people, they think I'm up to no good, which it's not the case, you know what I mean? But I've got a scar on my face. I look like, I don't know, and I'm just judging off the reactions I get from dudes I don't know, but a lot of times they kind of watch me, you know what I mean, to make sure that I'm not gonna like attack them or something, which is the furthest thing from my mind, but so I stay out of the residential shit. I'm not trying to get into fights with people over, and I'm also the type where if someone comes up questioning me and acting, trying to, if they get an emotional response out of me, which a lot of the time they would, then I'd rather avoid the whole thing, you know, than to have somebody coming up and getting me into a negative state of mind and all that shit. I'm good in the parking lots where every once in a while the cops will come wake me up, and that's fine. It doesn't even happen often, but when they do, you know, I don't feel like I'm doing nothing wrong, so I ain't scared, bro. Like, so if they wake me up, I just tell them, yeah, I live in my car. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. We don't give a shit, you know. It all depends on how you handle it. It all depends on your state of mind. If you're all scared, like, you know, but I ain't like that. I'm like, yeah, I live in my car. That's the way it is. What, you know, are you going to rent me an apartment right now? No? Then what do you want me to do? You want me to go sleep in another parking lot? That's whatever, you know? So, you know, so I guess I'll get to the good parts of it now. So the good parts are basically you don't got to pay rent, which is the main thing that keeps people locked into these lives that they don't want to live. So everything is a give and a take, you know. So I realized at a young age, with this constant pressure of rent is keeping me held down in life. It's preventing me from living the life I want to live. It's stifling my creativity because all my efforts and energy are going towards just paying rent, you know. And then on the weekends, I get to cut loose and go get drunk and act like an idiot, you know. And so I was like, this ain't living, bro. I realized a long time ago this ain't living. So it occurred to me that if I can figure out a way to get rid of this friggin' rent bill, I can start doing some interesting things with my life. Because what I really want, and I have it now, thank God, I'm grateful to God, I've got, anywhere I go in this country, I've got a free hotel room, and I can travel around. I you know what I mean? I like to hang out in Las Vegas. I like to gamble a little bit, not much, but a little. It's just, I like to have fun, you know what I mean? I love New York City. I like to hang out in New York City. I love Florida. These are 3 of my favorite places on earth. But the other thing is, I get tired of being there, you know? So I'm heading out west in the not too distant future. One of my best friends lives in Colorado. I'm gonna go hang out with him. And then I'm probably gonna hit Las Vegas, and then I'm probably gonna hit California because I ain't never even been there. And the thing is, I don't need to be making a lot of money to travel around like that because my hotel room is coming with me. You know what I mean? And to be totally honest, I would rather sleep in my truck than most other places. I've got a lot of friends in Florida who are always like, bro, anytime you want, you come sleep in my house, this and that. And the truth is, I prefer to sleep in my own truck. I don't know what it is, but I'm more comfortable sleeping in my own place, you know? So, but yeah, people are always, I've got a lot of friends in Florida who are always like, bro, come by, stay as long as you want, it ain't shit, this and that. And I'm like, I appreciate you, and I'm not, you know, it's not that I don't like coming to your house, but I prefer to sleep in my own bed, even though my own bed is in the back of my motherfucking car. You know? Like, so, another major downside to it is girls. Like, if you want some sort of long-term relationship or something, I don't know if you're going to be able to live in a car with a girl. I don't think I would ever even attempt that, to be totally honest. I'm the type where I like to be alone sometimes. And the other thing is, in the summer in Florida, if I got a girl wrapped around me back, it ain't happening, bro. We would die of heat exhaustion. You know, it'd be too hot. You know, so that's the other thing. If you got like a long distance, or I mean, if you're in a long-term relationship, or you're looking to get into something like that, then living in a car might not be for you, or you're gonna have to seriously figure out a way to control that climate, which is something I'm constantly working on. And once I figure it out, y'all will be the first to know, you know. People have suggested to get those it's some sort of fan with ice in it, and I'm thinking that, you know, that's great and all, but do you really want to be blasting the inside of your vehicle with humidity all night long? I don't think that's a good idea. Um, for the most part, I'm trying to avoid humidity in my truck altogether. Whenever I get one of those little dehumidifier packets in any type of food, I don't throw it out. I throw it in the back of my truck somewhere. I don't want moisture in my truck. I don't want mold growing nowhere, nothing like that. So I'm trying to keep it as dry as possible in here. So blasting some fan with ice cubes all in it and just blasting moist air, that seems very counterproductive to me. But there's the other thing you're gonna need is a power supply. You're definitely gonna need that. I'll link the one I got. Now, see, I bought mine when it was a GoFundMe. There's this YouTube channel called Hobo Tech where he does reviews on power supplies and solar panels and shit, and I really trust his information because, and I'm glad I listened to him because he was the one where I found out about my power supply and my solar panel. So the power supply I got is straight made in China. It's called the Mil-Tec X1000. I think I paid $800 for 1,000 watt solar generator with an 80 watt solar panel, which I never used the 80 watt solar panel. It's just not strong enough to charge this thing. It takes too long. So my suggestion is, if you buy the Mil-Tec, don't even bother with the portable solar panels because they're really not worth having. They're just not big enough to charge this thing up. What you should do, what I did, was I bought a 180 watt Bouge RV solar panel, which is on my roof. I'm sitting directly in the sun right now, just charging up. And so that gives me plenty of power most of the time. I'm also running a refrigerator off it. It's called a Joy Tutus. It's another thing made in China. Here's the thing. I used to buy American-made products, but nowadays it's all made in China anyway. So this refrigerator, I've had it for over a year. I paid $200 something for it. I could not be happier with the thing. It works like a charm. It doesn't eat too much power. It's running 24/7. Keeps my drinks cold, keeps my leftover food fresh. You know, it's the Joy Tutus little refrigerator I got. I could not be happier. And from what I've heard, the compressor in this thing is the same compressor that they put in the expensive refrigerators. That's what I heard. I'm not sure if it's true, but I've got to say, I kind of believe it because this thing has been running like a champion since the day I got it. I mean, it's been running nonstop ever since. The only time it's ever an issue is in the summer in Florida when it's 100 degrees every friggin' day. You got a refrigerator that's trying to stay at 40 degrees. Sometimes that thing will run for hours and hours and hours, and sometimes it'll drain my power supply in the summer. So that's, you know, idealistically in my next build, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get 2 power supplies, at least 1,000 watts each, maybe more, and I'm gonna try to run a refrigerator and a AC. I'm gonna try to pull that off. We'll see. You know, I've learned a lot out of living out of this vehicle, and my next build is gonna be, it's gonna be something else, bro. Wait till y'all see it. It's gonna be badass. But ideally, I would like to be able to run a fridge and an AC. So, also, I would need more solar panels on the roof, but I went pretty cheap with the solar panel. Bouge RV, they're great solar panels for the price, but you can get better because you can get smaller ones that are more powerful, but they're expensive. So, but so yeah, the main upside to living in a vehicle is you've basically got You're rent free, no hotel fees, no rent. You can travel anywhere in the country anytime you want. It's real freedom, 100% real freedom. And so you can spend your money on enjoying life, that's the main thing. Now, like I said, there's going to be some sacrifices, there's going to be some drawbacks, and hopefully I explained them pretty well in this video. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. As far as meeting girls or whatever, everyone's different, everyone does things differently, but you can still meet girls. I'll tell you that much. Even when I was homeless on the street, I was meeting girls. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I can't. There's no logic to it. Every once in a while, I'll just run into a girl and we click. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not even something that I really pursue. Although mostly I wasn't pursuing it because I didn't have the time and the money. If I had the time and the money, I'd be chasing girls all over town, So, I mean, that's another issue with it. So, if you're, it's going to be hard to, come back to my truck, you know what I mean? Although you can certainly pull it off. I guarantee you that. But, so, for me, for the most part, the good outweighs the bad. And I can tell you this much, even if I had $10 million, I would probably still be living in a vehicle right now, because this is how I want to live right now. I want to travel around the country, and I want to explore, and I want to have fun. And when I get tired of that, I'll build a house somewhere, or I'll rent an apartment somewhere. I don't know. But right now, the money's not even the thing that's keeping me in the vehicle. The fact that I just want to just kind of enjoy life right now and travel around and see cool things, my setup back there is badass. I guess maybe I'll do a live one night and show y'all how I hang out in the back of my truck, because if I ain't doing nothing, I go park somewhere, I stealth it out. I get everything to where I'm hidden. Shit, this video's getting long. And then I get in the back of my truck and I smoke some weed, if I got weed, and then I will play some video games on my laptop. I'm just chilling back there, I actually got a PlayStation 2 emulator on my laptop, so I'm playing all the old school PlayStation games right now, and it's pretty fun, I gotta be honest. But if it's at a time where I'm not smoking, and which every couple of months I'll quit smoking weed, then when I get back there, I'll just watch a movie on my laptop. And I've got pretty much every good movie ever made on a hard drive. And then on another hard drive, I've got pretty much every good TV show ever made. So I'm doing the same things in the back of my truck that most people are doing in their apartment when they're just chilling at night, I'm watching TV shows, and another thing I do back there is I work out. I do crunches. I started doing a new stomach exercise, which is great. The bicycle thing where you touch your elbows to your knees. That's been great. That's a good little workout. I do little pull-ups on my handle back there. So if I'm just chilling watching a movie, I'm working out the whole time too. Except in the summer, I can't do that back here because I'd be soaked and I'd be sweating even worse than I do, But so, it's give and take. There's going to be some uncomfortable situations, and I tell you what, worst come to worst, you can go rent a hotel room, which I never do, but I could. But like I said, so far for me, the good outweighs the bad. Eventually, I will get tired of it. Probably, maybe not. I don't know. Ideally, what I want is a big, huge piece of land somewhere in the middle of nowhere where I can build a house, where I can just keep some supplies and travel around in a vehicle. And whenever I get tired of it, go stay on my land. But then when I get tired of that, go back out in the vehicle. You know what I mean? So for me, for the most part, the good outweighs the bad. I can tell you this much: if you're coming straight for an apartment or a house and going to live in a vehicle, there's going to be times where you're going to doubt your decision, but you know, nothing is easy. You know what I mean? And if you're really thinking about doing that, something in your life is, you know, whatever you're doing ain't easy either. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be thinking about living in a vehicle, you know? So, I guess I gotta watch this video back and make sure it makes sense. I feel like I left out a lot of information, man. I'm trying to think, like, because I definitely, what I don't want is for someone to sell everything and go get in a vehicle and be like, oh my god, this sucks. Why'd I listen? Joey's an asshole. What, you know? Don't do that, bro. Don't blame me if you hate it. You know what I mean? Here's what I suggest you do. Go sleep in your car somewhere. Not just go out in your own town and figure it out. Go sleep in your vehicle somewhere. Bring your laptop or whatever and try to treat it like you would just a normal evening chilling in your apartment. Give it a shot, and that's the only way you're gonna learn. You don't learn, you know, you can learn from reading, but the best way to learn, and you can learn from watching videos and people explaining, but the nothing it teaches like experience. You know what I mean? Nothing. There's nothing. Experience is the best teacher. So if you're thinking about doing it, go sleep in your vehicle somewhere and see what you think. And don't just get out there and then pussy out. Force yourself to do it. Like, see what you think. And, you know, that's the only way. That's the only way you're really going to find out what it's about. So, that's my suggestion. Even if the vehicle you have is not the one you're planning on living in, give it a shot anyway, and just go see how you like it. See what it's like. See what it's like to go find a place to sleep. For the most part, I try to find big parking lots with lots of shops and bars and stuff around. I try to I prefer for there to be a bar not too far away, because a lot of times people go to a bar, they get hammered, and they end up not driving home. Their car stays in the area overnight. So, and for the most part, the cops leave you alone. And even if they don't sweat them. Don't get into a fight with them. Just explain to them I live in my vehicle, and that's what I do, and there ain't nothing wrong with it. So, I guess that's about it. We'll see what the next video is going to be. Maybe I'll make a controversial, opinionated one. We'll see. I don't know. But, you know, once again, I appreciate every single one of you. And, I will see y'all later in the week. You know, at some point within the near future, I'll do a live from Clearwater Beach, and I'll show y'all the sunset out there. Maybe show y'all some street performers and shit, whatever's going on out there that night. Shit's popping out there right now. It's spring break, so gorgeous butterfly floating by. So I'll see y'all later in the week. Maybe Friday I'll do the live. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to make any promises. What's today? Wednesday? So yeah, I don't know. I'll see y'all later in the week. Everybody have a good one. Later.